Applications to buy a home were expected to rise. They are now down over 15% from a year ago, however. Unusually bad weather has been blamed for weak home sales and buyer traffic in much of the nation this winter, but sales in January fell the most in the West, where weather was not a factor. In a related note, a survey done by Redfin found 16% of first-time home buyers said they had delayed the purchase because of student loan debt. 33% said they put off the purchase for 1 or 2 years, and 31% said they had put off the home purchase for 4 years or more. On the upside, people who had previously had a foreclosure, short sale, or bankruptcy during the real estate bust are expected to start coming back into the market and buying homes. They're called boomerang buyers. To get a Fannie or Freddie loan, the wait times are 2 years for a short sale, 4 years after a bankruptcy, and 7 years after a foreclosure. A spokesman for Realty Trek said, quote, "We're about 3 years past the peak of the foreclosures, and that's about the time when most people would qualify for another loan. The market really needs boomerang buyers to maintain the current recovery." The reemergence of subprime mortgages was a big story last week. There was a lot of people wrote on it. But what they're calling subprime isn't your 2005 subprime. One company is making loans to borrowers with credit scores as low as 550, which sounds crazy, but at 9.75% and 30% down. Not a lot of risk there if you got 30% down. The larger point is the banks and the GSE lending standards have been so tight, they can loosen up and still be reasonable. For example, the average score for Fannie Mae in 2012 was 761, which is considerably higher than it was in the year 2000, 12 years earlier, when it was 713. Janet Yellen, the new Federal Reserve Chair, said she anticipates the taper to end next fall. That would suggest higher interest rates sooner rather than later. Another popular story of the week was the feel-good story about home sales jumping over 9%, but that was compared to December. Compared to January of 2013, however, new home sales were only up 2%. The average new home price was up 5% nationally, but looking at local Phoenix data, new home sales were up 24% from the previous January. Part of the increase in new home prices was because the average new home is getting larger, up more than 300 square feet since 2009 to almost 2,700 square feet. In Phoenix, the size of the average new home sold increased by 180 square feet in just the last 12 months. Case-Shiller came out with their home appreciation numbers for 20 U.S. cities through December 2013. U.S. home prices were up 11%, but barely increased at all in the fourth quarter of 2013. Like many people, Calculated Risk blamed the leveling off of home prices to higher prices, higher interest rates, fewer distress sales, and fewer purchases by seller. Personally, the fewer purchases by seller to me is more a factor of higher prices. And Jed